Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Toast Time here on the Vendetta Sports Media Network. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Jackson Law and my producer Courtney. First, start off with Courtney. Courtney, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. About to enjoy this weather now, but I'm all good.
Yeah, Courtney's got some strange weather going on uh, over there in Nevada in the desert. It's for some reason it's hailing. I don't really understand geology, so I don't really know why that's happening. But hey,
Bro, the world shuts down for 1 year and just the weather is all kinds of crazy and haywire.
it's global warming, man. That's all I can say. Jackson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Not dealing with crazy weather like Courtney is. It got up to 68 degrees today, and it's the perfect weather for me because it was a little bit overcast. So it's like good enough to rock the old Grizz jacket, but I'm still wearing shorts also. That's my favorite weather.
Yeah, I was peeping that Grizz jacket. I like it. I gotta
Yeah.
get a Laker one. I had one when I was in like eighth grade. It don't fit me no more, so gotta get a
Yeah,
new.
this one's a couple years old, but been working out, been losing a little bit of weight. I fit back into it now decently. So
Atta
rocking it
boy,
for probably the first
progress.
time in about 2 years.
There we go. Progress. That's what we like here. Well, we go. So just keep going forward. That's all I say. All right, but without further ado, we will get into it here. So first up, my buttery pick this week. Now, I really just don't know what else to say about this. Uh, my analysis of this stock has just been blown out of the water time and time again. But we're talking about GameStop again, okay? Yes, we are
Yeah.
talking about GameStop yet again because GameStop today reached a high of about $340 per share. And that was last
Golly.
week. And that was after last week. There was like some crazy resurgence in it where it was $40 a share. And then all of a sudden it just got pumped right up to 180. And it's been hanging out right around $100 a share for about a couple days. And personally, I thought that it was just going to tank. Like it was just done with. I mean, we had our fun, made some money, whatever it was, but it was just over. Yeah, it clearly was not over because GameStop just took off yesterday and today, especially. So
Yeah.
now it reached a high of about 340. Now it's hanging out around 250, 260 a share. Like I,
Jeez.
yeah, I just don't know anymore with the stock, man. I mean, the diamond handed army is just keeping this company alive. And apparently now, like GameStop actually has like some stuff behind them. Like they took the money they made and now they're gonna go buy like an esports league. So basically, a couple million degenerates on Reddit just saved GameStop and it's kept them in business.
It is a absolutely wonderful story, especially there's always the jokes that we make about GameStop, you know, taking our money, giving you like you bought a brand new game for 60 bucks and you take it back and they
Yep.
give you like 15 bucks for it. But that's a place because for the longest time before like digital downloads for games were a big thing. That was the place to go. I've got fun memories back in high school
Mhm.
when I was finally old enough to start buying M-rated games, taking advantage of their policy. Where this is literally how I played when the next generation, like when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out. This is what I did. I went and I bought like some used games, like some high priced used games, because I was like, I want to play these. You get the next generation of consoles coming out, and there's a lot that I missed. And the GameStop employee, he tells me, he's like, hey, listen, if you beat this game within 7 days, you can bring it back and get full in-store credit for what you paid for it. He's like, we can't give you cash for it, but if you get store credit and you return it back within 7 days, then you get full credit for it. I turned about 50 bucks into about $400, close to $500 worth of games in the span
Nice.
of a couple months because I would literally go and get like 3 games. I would beat them all in a week and then take them back, get new games, and just repeat the process. So I got fun memories with GameStop of taking advantage of them, and I don't. They ended the policy. I feel like I
Yeah,
was one of the main
I would
causes of that.
imagine. Yeah, I would imagine. Dude just made $50 last a really long time.
Yeah, yeah, but with the saving of GameStop, that's a lot of people that don't have to go looking for new jobs now. Like
Yeah,
when everyone starts getting the vaccine, and we're finally going to emerge from our caves and try to get society back to normal. That's tens of thousands of employees that don't have to go job searching because they're going to diversify to the point where it's not just games. They've already started to do that, where you can buy like merchandise, like video game and pop culture merchandise there. So kudos, like I'm happy for it.
yeah.
And I honestly can't wait in 5 years for the movie to come out. And then in 10 years, when my son watches it, I'll be able to tell him I was a part of that.
Yeah.
I helped do that.
All I want is them to give me like a 10-second cutaway of me just yelling at Robin Hood. That's all I want. Just do a 10-second cutaway of me just yelling at Robin Hood. I'll be very happy. So, movie studio, you got my permission to use my footage.
Yep. No compensation needed,
No, just give me the satisfaction of being in the movie.
All right, so my Buttery pick this week, it's a group of people. It's people like me. It's people like you. It's people like us here at Vendetta. It's us that love college basketball because it is time, finally, after such a long wait, we are finally getting into the tournaments. I have missed tournament play so bad. Like I am watching teams that I have literally never heard of before. And it's literally like teams that for the first time in their school's history are eligible to go to the NCAA tournament because they've won their conference tournament and get an automatic bid. And even then, they're still going to be like, 13 seeds going into the tournament. But I'm just so excited and I'm so happy to have the tournament back because I haven't got to watch March Madness since 2019. It was taken away from us. It was pretty much this time last year, right before Selection Sunday, is when the world completely shut down and March Madness was completely canceled. The tournament was canceled. And there have been a lot of great games, like Xavier and Butler just finished. Butler hangs on in an overtime thriller to win by 1 point. He had a game winner with 3.9 seconds left on the shot clock like a week ago. Who was it? It was against Memphis. I think it was Houston. I want to say it was Houston. Hit the half court buzzer beater to beat Houston and get an automatic bid to the tournament. Like there is no other sport on the planet that is that exciting, is that chaotic, especially when we get to the tournament. It's some of the best sports you're ever going to watch. It's some of the best entertainment you're ever going to get. And it sure is some of the best basketball you're ever going to get. And for the previous like week and a half or so, however long these tournaments have been going on, and then for like the rest of the month, I'm going to be the happiest man on the face of the earth because especially when we get to tournament time, it's like all day. When these tournaments start going, it's like you can't go to a sports channel without seeing like the ACC tournament, the SEC tournament, the Pac-12, the Big Ten, and then we get to the big tournament and there's 64 teams or whatever. But then you also have the first four in, you got the play-in games to get in those last couple of seeds, and then you start the tournament. It's fantastic. It's one of the best times of the year.
Absolutely. It really sucked last year when we didn't get it. It was like I really didn't even know what to do with myself when all sports got canceled. I wrote, oh boy, I was still in my last semester. Yeah, this was my second to last semester of college. And I was writing this, like, I was going to do this research paper on something, but then I remember all this stuff happened like right before it. I ended up writing my research paper on like how boring it's been without sports. And like I had like over 50 surveys and like people were like would always write me back. Like the most common thing I got back was I literally don't know what to do. Like I literally just say I play they're like, I've been playing PlayStation all day long, and like I don't know what else to do with myself. There's no March Madness. There's no the baseball. Baseball was gone. Basketball was stopped. Like there was nothing to do. There's nothing to do. And March Madness is always great time of year. There's a lot of kids that really just skyrocket their draft stock solely on the NCAA tournament and the conference tournaments. I mean, you can look back to years past, like Steph Curry, who made a big name for himself in his tournament run with Davidson. Look back, Kemba Walker and or Shabazz Napier, both of them, when they both pretty much just took UConn on their back to national championships and were, just absolutely destroying teams left and right.
I'll do a more recent one for you. My Memphis Grizzlies, the number 2 overall pick, Ja Morant.
Ja Morant, yeah, exactly. Ja Morant. 2 years ago,
he puts on a show against Marquette in the first round of the NCAA tournament back in 2019, and he shoots up to the number 2 pick. And this is a guy that hardly anyone really had heard of. Like he was getting some traction during that season because he was playing so well, but it was in the tournament when all the eyes were on him. They're like, this kid's good.
Yeah, and that's what it does. Bright lights normally bring the best out of players, especially in college. So it's great to see it back. Thank God for that, because Adam, you can't keep March Madness away from me for that long. It's not nice. Anyway, I'll move on to my burnt pick. Now, I kind of have a feeling you're going to be a little piggybacking off of this. So my burnt pick is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Why is my burnt pick the Dallas Cowboys? Because they threw $160 million at a quarterback that just shattered his ankle last year. I'm sorry, but do you have any idea what Dak's going to be like when he comes back? No, we have no idea. I can tell you for certain what he's not going to be. He is not going to be the same type of quarterback that he was prior to the injury. He's not going to be, scrambling out of the pocket, running for 10, 12 yards, trying to truck corners over. That ain't happening. I don't really see him running very much at all. I think this injury is going to turn him into just a straight, pure pocket passer. And if he needs to, then he'll, make his mobility known and go and start running. But I don't even want to talk about that. I just want to talk about how stupid Jerry Jones is. Jerry Jones is a moron. He just basically tied himself up with a quarterback that just came off a shattered ankle. Now you have no money, essentially. Their cap space is not big at all. And now you're going to have, so you got Mike McCarthy coaching your team, who nobody on the team likes him. Okay. Your team was terrible last year, especially defensively. Like on paper, you have a good defensive roster, but whatever schemes you were running was just not it. And as long as Mike McCarthy's there, I mean, some of those things are still going to be in place. The team just did not play for the man like at all. They're just a whole mess. Now, one thing I will always say, if your team is literally a dumpster fire, in a smoking hot sandwich, okay, we're gonna call it like the dumpster fire sandwich. You don't go and start throwing money around. You try to save your money, okay? There's no need for this. There's no need for this. You don't know what your team's gonna be. Cowboys probably gonna suck. All right, I'll tell you right now. If the Giants don't win the NFC East, I will be probably one of the angriest New Yorkers possible, okay? Because there's no way, shape, or form we should not win that division. No way. But anyway, Cowboys, they're my burnt toast. Jerry Jones is an absolute moron.
Yeah, okay, so real quickly, the Cowboys were my extra crispy pick because I'm going to go all in on the Cowboys. So I'm gonna do my burnt real quickly, just to get it over with, and you can
do your burnt,
talk about it with you want. Yeah, and then we'll just hop straight in to talking about the Cowboys again, and that'll be my extra crispy.
Do your burnt, do your extra crispy.
Okay, so my burnt pick for this week is the Green Bay Packers. Okay, and here's why, and it's because they're gonna let go of two absolute studs in Corey Lindsey and Aaron Jones. I mean, again, they refuse to spend any kind of money whatsoever. Lindsey has had injury issues, and I think he's 29, so he's fixing, if he's not on the backside of his career yet, he's starting to get there, which we've seen some offensive linemen really, extend their careers into their late 30s. And he plays he plays an important position. He's the center, but the center isn't, depending on the defense, that is the defensive scheme of the opposing team. He really doesn't a whole lot have someone line up on him, so he's not taking the full brunt. He's mostly just going to double whoever the defensive tackle is that they're most worried about, or whatever. If they run a zone blocking scheme, I don't know the blocking scheme that the Packers run. But Jones, on the other hand, 26 years old. 2019 was his breakout season. It was his third year in the league. 236 attempts, 1,084 yards, averaged 4.6 yards a carry, 16 touchdowns, was just unheard of. Next season it was weird. It was better and worse at the same time. He had averaged almost 6 yards a carry last season. I say only 9 touchdowns. 9 touchdowns is a lot for a running back.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you go from 16 to 9, it seems like kind of a step back, but it's actually not that bad. That's still like top in the league. And of course, he's shown that he can catch the ball out of the backfield too. Those are just two guys that you can't let go. Like you just can't. I'm sorry. It's like they don't even use the franchise tag on either one of them. You could maybe use the franchise tag on Jones and then bank on the fact that because running back is such a replaceable position, that you can then work out a deal with Lindsey and get him locked in again long term, and then you just kind of bet on the position that Jones is at, that he kind of tailors off a little bit, and whoever you got behind him steps up and produces to the point where you think that Jones, then it's like it's a good idea that you didn't pay Jones that much money. But right now, Jones is not showing any signs of slowing down. He's one of the top backs in the league, and it's just two more great pieces that are brought up through the Packers system that Rodgers isn't going to have next year. And everyone's talking about how the Packers need to go out and get Kenny Golladay or Emmanuel Sanders, who was let go today. I doubt they do, because that's just not their forte to do that kind of stuff.
No, they'll probably end up drafting a quarterback this year.
Yeah, anyway. Probably. They'll spend their first round, or like they'll trade up early second round and get a quarterback or someone on the defense.
Yeah, no. I positions where it's just absolutely not needed, but that's the Packers for you. I will tell you what, I will defend the Packers a little bit with the Aaron Jones thing, just because now I did a post maybe like 2 months ago about Super Bowl winners and how much they were paying their leading rusher in the Super Bowl game that year. And if you go and look at it, there was really no superstar running back other than, I think Marshawn Lynch was probably the only exception to this. Other than Marshawn Lynch, a lot of Super Bowl winners don't have like those high profile, 2,000 yard or like 1,500 yard a season running backs. I just put it as this way. You can make any running back good, and you can make a good running back great with a good a very good offensive line. So I believe in building the line, and you have a line, you could put whoever you want back there. They're going to produce. Now, I do like AJ Dillon, their backup running back, the rookie. I like him. I think he's got talent. So I could see why they're willing to take the risk of not bringing back Jones and being like, you know what, let's just let Dillon go out there, because I think he's good. I think Dillon can do some good things for that offense. So let Dillon go out there, let him play on his rookie deal, and you know what, maybe he starts to break out, because the Packers have a decent offensive line. It's not like their offensive line's bad. It's a pretty good offensive line. So maybe Dillon goes out there and shines, and you never know what happens to Aaron Jones. Maybe Aaron Jones just goes and chases the money somewhere with a bad O-line, and then he doesn't have that great of seasons. So, Cameron, you never really tell, but
yeah. No, this is like, it's like they're burnt because they're letting go of an all-pro offensive lineman too. Like if this was, I wouldn't have done this if it was just Jones. It's like you're letting go of a veteran running back that can catch it out of the backfield also, and you're getting rid of an all-pro offensive lineman. Like if it was just Jones, then I'd be like, I get it. Like you said, he's not terrible out there. But but I highly doubt they do anything else in the offseason. So why not just tag Jones, keep him for one more year, and then you can make the ultimate decision on if you get rid of him or not, or if he is lights out and gets almost 20 touchdowns again. Like maybe he gets too expensive, and that's when you got to let him go, and you at least get Dillon another year in the offensive system.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the Packers could not have gone wrong with franchise tagging Jones. At least they could. You really could do no wrong there. But hey, it's the Packers.
And like I said, I even said it's a replaceable position. So I'm not saying that they're making a terrible decision. He's just a high profile player who could be the cornerstone of any good team. It's more about Corey Lindsey getting let go. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and we'll talk. We'll circle back around to the Cowboys. This is my extra crispy.
Yep.
All right. So I did write an article about this, and I meant to bring it up, and so I'll be bringing it up real quickly here. It won't take me but just a second to find it, but I was not on board with giving all this money to Dak Prescott, and there's a lot of reasons that I lay out in my article about why. And the first thing is that Dak just hasn't done anything that has impressed me enough to warrant making this man, in the terms of average money, second only to Patrick Mahomes, but also at the same time making him the richest man and the richest contract in the NFL, because the man got a $66 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
He's getting $75 million this year because of the 2 voided years at the end of his contract. Make it to where that man is getting paid $75 million. And I know fellow Vendetta writer Scott was like trying to downplay it. It's like, oh, but they're saving $50 million. They're saving $50 million and the cap is going up. The cap went down this year. It went from about 95 to 85 or 82. I can't remember the exact numbers, but the cap went down. There's a significant amount of players that are out there that are good players that teams like the Colts, the Jags, and like even our teams, the Dolphins have cap space, and the Giants are going to have a little bit of wiggle room to where they can make a decent signing this offseason. It may be this year it saves them $15 million. Dak only got one playoff win. Okay. One playoff win, $40 million for one friggin' playoff win. Okay. And then I see a lot of people talking about how this deal is going to be dwarfed in a couple of years. When you talk about the cap going up, and when you talk about Josh Allen going to get paid, and you talk about Lamar Jackson getting paid. First off, the new money doesn't kick in until after Dak's contract is up, after the 4 years, which means that you are going to be paying literal top dollar for a quarterback that has won one playoff game and that this team has done nothing else. And I was talking about it with my co-host of Tandemonium Sports Show, Brian Tan, about it. He was more along the side of paying Dak Prescott the $40 million. I obviously was against it. I even wrote an article about why the Cowboys were going to regret it. They're not going to regret it that because Prescott's going to suck. They're going to regret it because the whole team sucks. And you've got over like a quarter, close to half or whatever of your salary cap locked up in five positions, 5 guys. Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, and I forget the 2 names of the offensive linemen. I think one of their names is Martin. I want to say I forget
Zach Martin.
Yeah, Zach Martin, and I forget the other guy's name. Each of those 5 guys are one of the top 5 paid players at their position. In fact, everyone that I named outside of Dak Prescott, and obviously the one guy whose name I can't remember, but he's thrown in there with the 3 others that were named. Each one of those guys at the time that they received their contract were the highest paid players at their position. And you've got one playoff win to show for it. And I got a stat which was that I can't believe, and it goes to show you that Dak Prescott as a quarterback in this team, they put up big numbers against bad teams, but they only beat up bad teams. Since the 13-3 season, which was Dak Prescott's rookie season, where they handily won the NFC East, and they ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs that they played. But ever since that season, he is 20, and the Cowboys are 20-6 against teams that are sub 500. Against teams that are either that finish the season right at 500 or above 500, they are 9-16. Against winning teams and against teams that eventually go and play in the playoffs. He has like a 500 record against teams that are in the playoffs. That is not a recipe for success. You have so many other holes to fill. And because they have some good players locked up and under contract for the next couple of years, and I think that if they really knock it out of the park with this draft, they can fix their defense a little bit, get them a top 10 defense, then their Super Bowl window, because you have people like Will Kane and Skip Bayless that were just, flipping out over this. Like Skip Bayless thinks that they're guaranteed to win a Super Bowl now within 4 years, and that they're an instant Super Bowl contender now that Dak is under contract. Like, I'm not even sure they're going to win their division. They had all of these guys healthy 2 years ago and went 8-8. Okay. And you've got a Giants team that is going to be fully healthy finally to start the season. And you have a Washington team that is really looking like they're just a quarterback away from legitimately competing in the division. I know that's not saying a whole lot because it's the worst division in football, but eventually that's going to flip-flop around and you're going to have legitimate playoff teams come out of this division because they've sucked for so long. Eventually someone's going to figure it out. And you think it should be the Cowboys because on paper, it should be the Cowboys. If you go roster by roster, if you were building an all-star team of the NFC East, and they were going to take on as one team the rest of the NFL, 80% of the starters on that team would come from the Cowboys roster. Little tweaks here and there or some arguments here and there, but when you talk about receivers, when you talk about offensive line, when you talk about linebackers, that is 100%. The vast majority, if not all of those positions, are going to come from the Cowboys roster. Okay. And it's no offense to your Giants, but you know your Giants better than I do. I look at the division as a whole, and I understand that Cowboys offense.
Well, I could tell you right now, I'll take the entire Cowboys offensive line over the Giants line. I'll tell you that right now.
But I don't understand paying him this much money. If you were going to cave and literally give him everything, I mean, they literally gave him everything. They gave him max dollars. They gave him a no trade clause and a no tag clause. They gave him an insane amount of guaranteed money. Why not just sign him 2 years ago when the deal was going to be in the mid to low 30s? Like when the literal difference between the contract that the two sides couldn't agree on was, are we going to pay him 35 or 32 million? Like literally that was it. You could have got him for so much cheaper. So that's why it's the Cowboys. I'm never going to blame Dak for getting 40 million. Like the man's got his 40 million and he's set up for the rest of his life and his kids and his grandkids, his great grandkids and their kids and the kids after that. Everybody, his family is set for a long time with this contract. It makes no sense because you can kiss Gallup goodbye. He's gone. There's going to be key players on that defensive line on the defense in a few years. They're going to be gone. On the offensive line, they're going to be gone. You are banking on the Cowboys of hitting the draft every single year. And I'm not talking about their first and second round picks because a lot of times, unless you're the Eagles, you hit on those picks. Okay. I mean, like they got to get fourth rounders, fifth rounders too, that contribute significantly. All of those guys have to, or else this doesn't work. And there's a lot of better teams in the NFC and especially the AFC that I would pick to win the Super Bowl over Dallas right now. Their window to win a Super Bowl, I give them 2 years max. Anything beyond that, if they don't win a Super Bowl in these 2 years, then they're never going to win a Super Bowl with this core.
See, I'll tell you this right now. They ain't winning no damn Super Bowl, okay?
No.
I've seen plenty of Cowboys teams. I've been a Giants fan my whole life, so that's 24 years. You want to say 20, I don't know, maybe like 18, 19 years of me actually being able to remember it. I've seen a lot of Cowboys teams. With that said, there's been plenty of Cowboys teams that are better than this team currently constructed, and even with looking towards what they could possibly look like after the draft and after free agency, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Dak Prescott he's an above average quarterback, but use that term loosely. He's not great. Okay. Like you said, the guy's got one playoff win. Everyone got on Tony Romo about the one playoff win for forever. And tell you what, that same narrative is going to be said about Dak Prescott for a while now. Okay. There was a time when the Dallas Cowboys, I believe in 2016, were 13-3. And what did they do? Absolutely nothing. They did nothing in the playoffs. It was like they were good throughout the regular season. Yeah, they were good up until they played the Giants. The Giants beat them twice that year. Go figure. It was probably the best the Cowboys have looked in years, and the Giants beat them twice. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Dak Prescott, you got to have enough money to build around the quarterback. Dak Prescott's not the type of guy that's going to make everybody on the team like significantly better. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Deshaun Watson. Those are like my top 3 guys that I could literally put almost anybody around them, and they'll make me, and they'll get me close to the playoffs. If not, they'll get me into the playoffs. Dak Prescott is not one of those guys. He needs people around him. He needed Zeke. He needs that offensive line. He needs Amari Cooper. Like, you got to put guys around him. And now you ain't going to be able to get Gallup back. That defense, listen, before anything else, that defense needs to be addressed, because you are not going to win any games through defense giving up freaking almost 40 points a game. So,
no.
That's all I'll say on that. I completely agree with you.
And and like you said, he's just an above average quarterback. I made a list. I'll reiterate the list. I said it on Tandemonium. I even put it in the Slack because Trey was reacting to that part of the Tandemonium Sports Show. This is a list of quarterbacks, no particular order. This is who I would rather have. If I had to pick a quarterback to build my team around right now, if I was a GM and I could get a quarterback right now to make a run at a Super Bowl, here's what I go with, both either building for the future or to go win now. Here's what I got. I got Mahomes, Watson, Wilson, Rodgers, Allen, Murray, Burrow, Wentz, Darnold. If I had the chance, I would trade Dak to get the number 1 overall pick and take Trevor Lawrence. I would do that. And then Dak, I throw in the same tier that I do with Derek Carr, Jimmy G, and Ryan Tannehill. Guys that can win you football games and can take care of the football and can make decent throws when you need them to, but they have to have a great supporting cast around them, a great head coach that knows what he's doing and is not worth $40 million. Is worth around in the ballpark at maximum, right at maybe $30 million with the way that quarterbacks are getting paid these days. But like $30 million is literally the max that I would pay. And Dak, honestly, along with those other guys, are probably should be just the high 20s. To me, that's what they're worth.
Yeah. No, honestly, I agree with you there. And I wouldn't go $1 over. I'm sorry, I wouldn't go $1 over. I'll take my chances in the draft rather than sit there and waste all my money and all my cap space on a guy that
I would too. I would see if I could take advantage of like the Panthers or someone else that really needs a quarterback and take my chances and try to land Justin Fields or Zach Wilson in the draft.
Yeah.
I would honestly try to do that. Take my chances with a good rookie quarterback and build a solid supporting cast around him. And of course, fire Mike McCarthy and get a new head coach in there.
Oh yeah.
Because you're not winning with Mike McCarthy as your head coach.
There's just so many problems with the Cowboys. Dak is one of them, but he's definitely not the last of them.
This is the man that's making Jason Garrett look good as a head coach.
Yeah,
all right?
you got
you
Cowboys
know
fans
things are bad. You know things are bad when Jason Garrett looks better than you.
Yeah,
and he's in charge of your offense now.
Yeah, I know. Jackson's got the meme of what happens when Jason Garrett.
Oh, it's such a great meme. I honestly cannot wait to. I honestly cannot wait to break it out next season. When the next season rolls around, and I see that the Giants are down bad and their offense is stagnant, then I'm gonna break that sucker out again.
Because you know that's exactly the type of face that I'm making every time I'm watching a game. Oh my god, all time great. But anyway, we'll move into my extra crispy this week, and this is going to be a little bit off of the All-Star game that just took place over the weekend. So the NBA All-Star break came. That I thought the dunk contest was absolutely. The dunk contest itself could literally be the extra crispy, but it's not. But I will go and talk about it a little bit because of how just what a waste that dunk contest was. You had 3 guys in it. Normally you have like 4. Okay, so this time you have 3. The last round was literally just 1 dunk each, and whatever dunk the refs thought was better. And first of all, Anthony Simmons was the Obi Toppin should have won, okay? Because Anthony Simmons, he didn't even kiss the rim. All he did was, his head was at the rim. Oh, this is the most basic thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, Obi Toppin at least jumped over 2 people. I know we see that all the time, but at least that's a little more exciting than just getting your head at the rim. Like, who cares, honestly? Like, who really gives a crap? I don't. I thought that was terrible. That dunk contest was just such a waste. But there is nobody more down bad than whatever charity Durant's team was playing for. They lost every single quarter and the game. I was just sitting there. I was like, oh my God. Like I thought about it and I'm like, they'll win at least a quarter, right? Nope. No, LeBron's team was not letting that happen. And to be honest, I don't know who let LeBron have that type of team. That team was just so unfair. Like you even look at you didn't even have to go to like the starters, just the reserves. Steph, you had Steph Curry and Damian Lillard on the floor at the same time. Jokic and Giannis. Giannis didn't miss a shot. He was 16 of 16. Like LeBron didn't even have to do anything. It was just like I don't know who let them put that team together. But that charity that Durant's team is playing for, they're sitting there eating ramen noodles and dollar grape sodas this week. Because they can't afford to eat anything else. Oh my God, the memes that came after that were
I know, dude, they're so great. I saw someone post a picture after the game was over, and it was the picture of Michael Scott with all the kids around him in the Scott's Tots shirts. Oh, I feel so bad for those kids, man.
Yeah,
like
so I feel bad.
They looked up to KD, and like to be fair to KD, Joel Embiid did have to miss, because the barber tested positive for COVID, and I can't remember if they tested positive or not, but just the contact tracing.
I don't think they did. I think because of contact tracing, they just got held out, but still.
Yeah, so that sucks, and then, but yeah, that just sucked. Yeah, and I mean, I also had the All-Star game on here. They were my toast of the week, so I guess we can transition into toast of the week. I know most of the time you lead these, but it's like wherever yours is at, what you pick, it's like mine is right after that. So it's just like a natural transition into toast of the week. I chose the NBA All-Star weekend just because I even threw it out in the Slack like right before, like the day that everything was going to go on. I was just like, I'm not really interested. The only thing that got me interested is that Mike Conley, much love, my boy Mike Conley, got thrown in there as a replacement at the last minute. I was so happy I almost started shedding tears. Like and then like Grizz Twitter was blowing up too. Like everybody was so happy. It was like us talking to Jazz fans. It's like, when we traded him, it's like, take care of him for us. That's our boy. We want to see him succeed. Like we saw Gasol succeed with the Raptors and win a title. We want to see the same thing. It's like we're far away from competing and winning a title, if we ever get to that point. And it's like, take care of our boy. And guess what? He finally got the recognition that he deserved. One of the most underrated players to play the game. Probably should have been in at least one All-Star game before now. Gets called in as a reserve, and I'm sure that was probably Adam Silver just being like, hey, man, you're a great guy. Here you go. Yet you're one of the only players in the league to play the games you have and never have a technical. He technically has one technical, but it got taken away by the NBA because the NBA said, nah, that's not a technical. And he made it a great 3-point contest with Steph Curry.
Yeah,
that was the only time I was invested in, was when he made it to the finals and Curry literally had to make his last shot to win. That was the only time I was invested. And it was a snooze fest like the game was, because players don't really play,
Last year's All-Star game was good. It was just in the COVID year that we've had, I can understand where they were like not really into it as much. Because I remember last year, actually, the All-Star game was great. And then did it come down to the point they had to win by 2?
Yeah,
it's win by 2.
Like that final fourth quarter, because they have the weird way that they do things now. Like that was legit entertaining last year. This year was just bad. And LeBron only playing 18 minutes. It's like the biggest stars aren't even, they're bad mouthing the game. Like James Harden is like, we shouldn't have this. LeBron's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, that's just not good for the game. But also at the same time, like, just either go or don't. I'm sorry, just go or don't. You don't got to sit there and talk.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna go and then still complain about it. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, come on, dude. And then what kills me? What kills me? They'll complain about it, but then if you go and watch, like when I did watch some of it. I mean, you know what? They're laughing and having a great time playing with each other. Like at the end of the day, they're saying like LeBron and Curry have never shared the floor together, never played with each other. And then they finally got to play with each other in an All-Star game. So, I just don't like all the complaints.
Yeah, and it was just boring. Dunk contest was boring. We got spoiled, but they drove Aaron Gordon away from us. They destroyed that man's will to ever be in a dunk contest. Probably the best dunk contest dunker of our generation. Best one since Vince Carter, and it's just like
hasn't won one. What was he in 3 that they robbed him of?
2 of them at least, where I know, because there was the one that Zach LaVine won. I remember was great, but I didn't know how they couldn't give it to him when he jumped over the mascot, brought both of his legs up to vertical up to his chest, jumps over the mascot that is spinning and is just like 3 feet from the goal, jumps over and brings it under his legs and then dunks it. It was like that should have been it. Like that should have been it. Like Zach LaVine, great dunker. I love him. I hope he ends up on the Grizzlies one of these days because he's like the only reachable guy that I can, dream about right now. Maybe Bradley Beal, but again, pipe dreams, small market. It's tough for us. But yeah, there's definitely been 2. There's probably a third one out there that I'm not thinking of, but he's been robbed every year. Every time he's been in it, he's been robbed.
It's terrible. I can't believe what they've done to that man. Poor Zach LaVine. What? So I'll do my toast. I'll do my toast of the week since we're on the toast of the week. Now, I know we don't talk about much baseball here, but we're going to talk about a little bit of baseball only because it's that time of the year. Baseball's coming up, and it's also that time of the year where somebody on the Yankees gets hurt and is going to miss 3 months out of the year, and the season didn't even start yet. It's just every single year this happens to us. So this week, our setup man, our 8th inning guy, Zach Britton, needs arthroscopic surgery on his elbow to take out a bone spur, and he's going to be out until about mid-June or early July.
That's tough.
The Yankees have been hit by the injury bug for I don't
Every
know,
year.
5 years now. I don't even know. It's been so long. We had the replacement Yankees at one point. I think 2 years ago we were literally calling ourselves the replacement Yankees because everybody on our team was hurt at one point. We have held the record for the most guys on the DL, accumulative like days on the IL now. Cumulative days on the IL in MLB history in a season. Okay. It is getting to the point of ridiculous. We even fired our entire training staff. And I'm thinking, all right, our injury problems are over. Guess what happens? The next year, it's more of the same. 3 guys go down like the first week. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It just never ends. It never ends. Every year we're like, all right, we'll stay healthy. Like it's whatever, just a little injury bug. No, the injury bug never leaves us. Like the point of the injury bug is supposed to be there for one season and then leave. No, with the Yankees, it's a resident. The injury bug has a jersey and he sits on the bench right next to Aaron Boone. That's where the injury bug sits. It's ridiculous what happens. I can't believe it. And of course, this week, spring training, we're like just about to wrap. Like spring training is going to be wrapped up in a little bit, and then April 1st is opening day, and there goes one of our best relief pitchers already down for 3 months. I'm just like so done with it. I'm just so done with the injuries. It's like ridiculous. I can almost guarantee. I'm going to have Charles Barkley guarantee. I can almost guarantee that at some point throughout the summer, I'm going to be talking a lot about the Yankees and their injury bug because I just know it's going to strike. We're going to have some big name guy go down.
Hey, I'm for it. You know, not that your guy's going down injured, you know, or anything, you know. But I'm talking about more baseball. I'm really making a conscious effort this year to really get back into baseball. It's been probably 10 or so years since I could tell you anything that was happening around the league that wasn't St. Louis Cardinals oriented, which I'm looking at a couple games to go to. Missouri's opening up. They have granted permission for Busch Stadium to open at partial capacity. So, and tickets they're not terrible like when the Pirates are in town, you know. So, you know, I don't have to go watch them play the Cubs or, you know, anybody good. They never play the Yankees at home. So they very rarely play the Yankees because of you know, the cross, you know, AL and NL and AL.
Interleague and just like totally different, like totally different regions too. Like the Yankees rarely play anybody other than like the Mets and the Marlins. It was like
and I was about to say that too, and it's like it's mostly like regional stuff. It's like the Cardinals. It's like they'll have like 2 series with the Royals, and it's because they're down the road, like 2 hours down the road, you know, and that's it. It's like who's the closest you know, regional team that is in the opposite, you know, division. It's like you'll just play those guys, you know, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, you know, at least you're not the Mets and you're practicing winning the World Series in spring training. Practicing what you guys are going to do.
There was a joke on Family Guy a long time ago, and I used to love watching it. It was like Stewie would go to the Stewie's at the ballpark, and the PA announcer was like, all right, and the first pitch and the Yankee season is underway. And the first pitch and the Mets have lost and they're out. It's like the season's over.
Yeah, it's like I think it was like, and there's the first pitch of the Mets season, and the season is over.
And the season is over. Oh man, I mean, listen. All jokes aside, at least the Mets got a new owner that's got money. So maybe they make some strides now. I don't think they'll win a World Series, but maybe they'll be okay. At least their season won't be over as soon as you know May rolls around.
They may make it out of the first inning before the season's over.
I think so. Normally Mets seasons would go like this: opening weekend, they'd be doing great. Like the first like 2 weeks, they'd be awesome. They'd be like 11-1 or something, and Mets fans would be like, "Oh my God, we actually got a good team." That feeling would very quickly dissipate by mid-May. They would lose like 25 out of the next 30 games, and then it'd be like, well, this is what
was that.
That's all. That's all, folks. Oh, man. All right. So next up, we will go to a soggy toast. So we didn't get to do the soggy toast. Kind of been going back and forth all over today. It's all right.
Yeah.
This is me and Jackson, but on kind of the same wavelength, so we might as well keep the topics, together whenever we bring them up. But my soggy toast, now this is just a soggy toast all year long. I talked about this a little bit last week, but it deserves a soggy toast. I don't know what the hell happened to the blue blood college basketball programs. And I mean, like, pretty much Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Calipari, Roy Williams, and Coach K. What the hell happened to their teams? I mean, I will say this: give Duke credit. I believe, they just beat Louisville, so now they're trying to make a little run in the ACC tournament to salvage their season and maybe get into the tournament this year. It's just, listen. Not having March Madness at all was crazy. But the fact that we could really sit here and watch a March Madness tournament, and we could very well, out of Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky, only have one of those three teams in the tournament. I mean, listen, 4 or 5 years ago, you could sit there and told me, yeah, Duke's not going to make the tournament in 2021. I would have been like, what are you, crazy? What are you talking about? They literally have the best recruiting class every year. I don't know. This year might happen. I personally, I think they need to at least get to the finals of the ACC tournament to even have a shot, because they just were really bad this year. They need to get some wins against some really good ACC teams for them to get consideration of making it. And that's just without the automatic bid. Obviously, they win the tournament, they'll get the automatic bid, but they need to at least make it to the finals to get a consideration. And Kentucky's just got no shot in hell. They got no shot in hell.
I think Kentucky's in the play-in game for the SEC tournament.
That's
they're
crazy.
way at the back.
That's insane.
That's
insane.
Literally, for them to win the tournament, which is the only way that they would even would probably get a play-in for the NCAA tournament. So it's they've been so bad this year, they could win the SEC tournament, and then that would grant them a spot in the first four.
Exactly.
Game.
That's
that's how bad they have been. They would literally have to win 5 basketball games in 5 days. They would have to go on the ultimate hot streak of hot streaks. And it's kind of funny because no one in the SEC likes John Calipari. I mean, to be fair, no one likes him.
I'm sure nobody feels bad for John Calipari.
No, we don't. And you know what? When the time comes for Nick Saban to retire and Alabama starts to take a dip again, we're gonna be right there too. But I mean, it's only because we're jealous of the incredible 2-decade run that it's going to be forever. He's going to die as the head coach. That's going to be our luck.
Absolutely. They're going to have to rename the University of Alabama as just the University of Nick Saban.
Yeah, it's going to be Nick Saban Stadium. I had some classes at Arkansas State with some rugby players, and they were talking about, because there was a weekend where A-State was going to play Alabama in football, which I'm sure you were just Arkansas State, whatever. That's a nobody school,
yeah,
which it is. It's a Sunbelt Conference, man. Yeah,
probably just check the score on my ESPN app real quick. See, it was 50-0 at halftime.
Hey, hashtag Fun Belt. That's what the hashtag always is. That goes around, hashtag Fun Belt. But yeah, the rugby, which, believe it or not, where I graduated from, number 1 rugby team in the country.
Nice.
And so they went to go play Alabama, and they were talking about how when they were going down there to go to the rugby field, the rugby field, their practice field and their game field are near the facilities for the football field. And this guy was like, dude, it's $20-30 million worth of an investment. It's that's how much money is in the program. Just looking at the buildings that these players get to the practice facility is tens of millions of dollars. And then where they go to study film and stuff, because they just got to walk around and like got like little basic tours and stuff like that just to look around. This guy was like, bro, it's insane.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, yeah,
they're on par with NFL facilities.
Yeah,
down
and it's
there,
like
Alabama.
that's the NCAA, like that's NCAA football's like number one moneymaker right there. That's their golden boy. Of course, they're gonna have hundreds of millions of dollars invested into that program. That's where all the tuition goes to. But you're not bad at basketball either this year, which is just, again, unfair. It's like when Florida won the national title in football and then they won the national title in basketball.
Yep. Or UConn men's and women's just taking
yeah, for real. It's
just the same year.
So sometimes things are unfair. Sometimes things are unfair.
Hey.
Yeah. But my soggy. Okay, so I guess I'll go to my soggy toast. My soggy toast. I'm going with the Detroit Pistons on this one. I'm going with the Detroit Pistons because Blake Griffin 100% gave up on that team. When Blake Griffin gives up, like I guarantee you, the first time he's in, it's a lob from James Harden, and the man is just gonna
Blake Griffin's first game is gonna be a 30-point double-double.
Yeah, he's gonna go crazy, and it's just gonna be ridiculous. And I saw people are like, they're gonna be demanding an investigation from the NBA if that man starts popping off. But he is because he's got something to play for. He's in Detroit, and he's like, I don't want to freaking be in Detroit. Yeah. Who wants to play for any Detroit team or organization? They're all just awful. Detroit is just. It seems like not only is the city starting to go downhill itself, all the manufacturing's going overseas, and now the teams are just starting to be bad. Like even the stuff that they're good at, like hockey, they're not good at it anymore.
Oh no,
the Tigers, awful organization. They were pretty good when I was, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Cardinals beat them in the World Series. Mm-hmm. I always felt bad for a friend of mine because he's a huge Detroit fan, and yeah, he got the brunt of elementary school ridicule when the Cardinals won the World Series. I want to say that was like 2008, 2009 maybe, and then they wanted to get him like 2011.
I think it was 2000.
Or it was 2000.
Oh god,
it was 6 or
they
7.
First one in 2006. At least
yeah,
I remember. I think.
Yeah. I think it was 6, and then it was like 10 or 11 is when they won it again. It's been so long, dude.
Yeah,
that one was against the Rangers.
I remember the 2011 one. When they played the Rams. So, that I remember.
This is a weird tangent, but we're gonna do this and then we'll finish up. David Eckstein, who was the MVP of the World Series against the Rangers. Are you a big Star Wars guy, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm into Star Wars.
All right. His wife, Ashley Eckstein, is the voice actress of Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars.
Really?
Yeah, because I watched her on a podcast. I remember finding that out. I was like, that's his wife? That's
crazy.
And yeah, it was during the World Series, like before they went to the World Series. She signed a contract to play. Like she got the part. And then after the World Series was over, like she said literally the day before they won the World Series, and he was named World Series MVP. So this dude's already on a freaking high, like the highest of highs that you could ever be on. He goes with his wife to the Skywalker Ranch in California, meets George Lucas, and has to sign an NDA because she was finally able to tell him that she was going to be a character in Star Wars.
That's sick.
So St. Louis Cardinals have a connection to Star Wars. One of the coolest things. I always thought that was cool growing up. I was like, that's so freaking cool. My favorite baseball team and one of the greatest shows of all time, a connection. Power couple, dude.
Yeah.
The dream.
That's a great power couple. I think we need to investigate the Cardinals for unfair use of the Force.
Yeah. There's no way that man should have hit that home run. It was like a triple to tie the game. It was like a 2-run triple to tie the game, and then a home run to win it and send it to Game 7.
It's like, I think I seen after he hit the ball, he held his hand out for some weird reason, and the ball just kept traveling, and there was no wind that day, so I don't know what that was. Some
cloaked figure in the stands, with just like in the shadows, whatever. Again, like super weird tangent. I know I got weird information, dude, and I can't remember like to take the garbage out on Tuesdays, which is trash day for us.
just like you forgot your notes in your backpack like before we
Yeah,
started.
well, I mean they were right there, but I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot to. I had to get up and like get them. But yeah, you know how I be.
Listen, yeah, no, hey, it's all good. We like weird random information. All right, so moving on to our final segment, which is going to be our predictions. Now, when March Madness coming up, I will sit here and I will predict the winner. Now, as I always say, bold takes only on this show, or really on any show that I'm on, because it's my New Year. That was my New Year's resolution: is bold takes only. So I'm gonna go and give everybody a bold take here. All right, we're gonna go with. I don't even. You know what? Whatever. Screw it. I'm gonna sound like a moron. I know it. I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Duke basketball is going to not only get in, they will win. They will go on the craziest hot streak, and they will win the tournament because that's just 2020 and 2021 for you. Why not? Why not have a team that's barely over 500 get into the tournament? And you know what? Not for nothing, but any team that's coached by Coach K, it's just get in. Just get in, and he will put you in the best position to win that tournament. So not gonna go with any of the blue bloods or not I'm not gonna go with any of the good ones this year, like Gonzaga or Baylor or Michigan. Like those are easy picks. We're gonna go with the absolute long shot. We're going with Duke. Duke will win NCAA tournament. That's my prediction going forward.
That is a very bold prediction.
Yep.
That's a very bold prediction. I can't wait to see how that plays out. I don't see it happening, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah, that is true.
Mine, yeah. So my prediction, I'm sticking with college basketball. And this is not for the NCAA tournament. This is for a conference tournament. You know, when we get to the SEC or when we get to the NCAA tournament, you know, we'll talk about that and we'll see. You know, but I'm gonna be a homer on this one because they're finally playing good enough for me to be a homer. But the Arkansas Razorbacks will win the SEC tournament, and here's why. First off, they have won their last 11 SEC games. That has included wins over 10th ranked Missouri and 6th ranked Alabama, who was pretty high up there. I think they were the number 4 or 5 team when we beat them just a few weeks. I say we like I was a part of it, but when the Hogs beat them. Okay. This is a team now. They don't put up a lot of points. They're not really flashy, but they play good team basketball and they play defense. Alabama has a high octane offense. Held them to just 66 points in the last meeting. Dropped 101 on South Carolina. I mean, in the second half, they've turned around. Their last loss was to Oklahoma State, who has Cade Cunningham, who a lot of people say is probably going to be, if not the number 1 pick in this draft, is guaranteed to be a top 3 pick. And that's just how good this draft class is you honestly can't go wrong with picks 1 through 6. It's that deep of a draft. And then even out of all lottery teams are basically going to get a pretty good solid player in this draft. That's how good this draft class is. They've been playing great. I love Musselman. I think he embodies everything that you love. That's the type of man that you could play for because you get a big win. The man just rips his shirt off and runs into the locker room, is jumping around like this 5'6" white dude, and just these massive towering basketball players everywhere getting hyped. You know, he did the same thing at Nevada. He comes from Nevada to University of Arkansas, and in 2 years has this program turned around to the point where they are the number 2 team ranked in the SEC tournament. They are number 8 overall in the country. Last time Arkansas was ranked, They were number 2. That was in 1995, year I was born. Also the year they won the Natty. So things are looking good. Things are looking up. You know, baseball's doing well. Football still sucks, but we're trending in the right direction. It's starting to be good to be a Hogs fan. Okay, I am slowly reintroducing myself not into Hogs fandom, but just into the outside world, because I have been hidden away in my cave of despair. But finally, I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the Hogs will win the SEC tournament. And there is talks that if that happens, then the Hogs will get a 3 seed in the national tournament, which would just be insane.
Hey, listen, that's hey, not as crazy as mine, so I could definitely see it happening. And you know what? I would just love to see what Cinderella team we're gonna have this year. Like now, like I always love when we have those like Cinderella teams that like make it really far, like the Loyola Chicago, and they made the Final Four. And oh man, well, what was it? They're like old nun, like president or whatever she was, sister Mary or something like that.
Yeah,
just being wheeled around on courtside.
Yeah, I saw someone said
great.
they needed to push her to the front of the line of the COVID vaccine, so that way she could be at the games.
yeah. Listen, Loyola Chicago definitely needs her there. They need another sick run like they had a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They were an 11 seed, went all the way to the Final Four. Hey, who knew that's like that was like Butler back in the day when they went to the national championship like two years in a row. They lost both times, but hey, they got there.
They got there.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine that. Imagine making it all the way through the tournament, losing 2 years in a row. No wonder why Gordon Hayward has a problem staying in one place.
Yeah. Commitment issues. Goes to the voice like a divorce counselor or marriage counseling. It's like, when did this all start for you? It's like Brad Stevens and I, we made it to the Natty 2 years in a row and we lost.
Yes, I just can't stay with that man anymore.
Yeah, still not as bad as 4 Super Bowls and losing.
No.
That's they or whatever the record is of the Braves in the World Series. Like how many World Series did they go to? How many rings did they give Derek Jeter?
Yeah.
and the Yankees back in the late 90s.
They gave him at least 2 or 3, I'll tell you that. That was another bad one. All of Atlanta. They just love going to championship games and just absolutely blowing it. But that's Atlanta and Georgia sports for you.
True that.
But anyway, that wraps it up for us. Remember to like and subscribe to the video on YouTube. Also, you can check us out on Twitter. And also, guys, go and check out Symbol, our official sponsor for Vendetta Sports Media. It's actually a great time right now to start buying up on some NFL teams. Because draft is coming up. So if there's a team that's undervalued and you think they're gonna get a big boost soon, I would suggest you go and start buying up those teams now. I could go into a whole thing about what teams I like and what teams I don't like, but I'll probably have a post on that this weekend. I'm gonna try to do one at least once a week. Try to give the NFL values on that. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, it's been a great episode, and we will talk to you guys soon.